Hi, YouTube. Thank you to my new subscribers for joining us here. I think a lot of us know each other from other platforms too, or are getting to know each other, which is really nice. I appreciate you. Um, there's some, like, I used to be horribly, horribly lonely. But I am so blessed now to have found other people that are thinking, maybe not on every single aspect of what we're talking about, but thinking enough alike. Um, just the mere fact, I think, most of all of you could agree too, that no matter what our thoughts in life, if it doesn't involve hurting children, we probably all can get along on any level. And that's today I am celebrating heterosexual month and day and life. Yay! so yeah, because I'm still it's more and more where this is the thing. They have crossed the line. People have crossed the line dressing up like some kind of satanic thing with horns and dressed in like lingerie, like something that would be in a brothel, and going into libraries and reading to children. That's where they cross the line, trying to influence the next generation into what they well, if you destroy the children, you destroy a society, and that's their game plan. So, I mean, what people do, I really don't care what they're doing to the kids. That's why it has to be brought to attention, not for any other reason. What they have in their life, as far as any kind of spirituality, either one of the two that live inside all of us, whoever they honor most, that's up to them. But when it hurts children, then it's up to the rest of us to say, you know what? This is not going to happen unnoticed, and we are going to put an end to it. It's a very few people in all reality that want you to believe that the masses are being accepting of this. Just like with covering your face with the pieces of paper and all the rest of the crap, whatever they're showing people and telling people a lot, they're going to go along with it, what they see, and then the repetitiveness of it. So I'm going to be just as repetitive for the children. And I'm going to make it absolutely clear that that's my main reason, probably, to even be alive is for what I'm talking about right now, you know? Because, and I'll just tell you, it's criminal. It's beyond criminal. It can cost people years and decades of their lives to undo something twisted that has been done to a child. They're that impressionable, you know. So, and twisting is not natural. Like I say, every day is heterosexual day. Whether the clowns of the world want to acknowledge that fact or not, I don't care. I'm standing on the voice of reason, and the reason is the children. And that's the end of that conversation. All over the world. Like I said, it's very, very select few of the what I would call super clowns that are trying to push their agenda on people for their own gains. And it's not going to work. So, excuse me a moment. Mm. I passed around the lyrics to Jimi Hendrix, Hey Joe. That's my new nickname for Joe Biden. It's Hey Joe, where you going with that gun in your hand? He's gonna go shoot his old lady for sleeping with another man. But and it goes on and on that he ends up he's got to run to Mexico because he's trying to hide from everybody, and so it was so appropriate. I shared it on Doug's. If some of you don't know, I call Doug my estranged husband or my strange. Um, we're kind of separated in our own house, even though we are um, friends, but frenemies. I feel like he's somewhat got God in his heart more than he ever has before, but it still has taken its toll on me. But I've never been unfaithful, and I never would wish to be. I'm just, when I came out here, I was looking for a minister to talk to Doug, thinking that perhaps he would listen to a man more than he would me. And then when he kept being just kind of a diverse minded person, I decided just to make friends for myself and do what I want to do in life, like the things I love to do. If I get to go hiking or dancing, and I don't care if he's there or not, could care less, or collecting rocks or looking at the stars or bonfires, swimming, my things I love to do. Um, so whatever happens, happens. Then I just decided, well, then I'm just making friends for myself, which I wanted to do that too, but I thought maybe we could make the same kind of friends and make healthy relationships out in the world and talk to people. And he has been talking to people more and actually in a gentler manner than he used to. Being he's 8 years older than me, so and he was talking like to even 50 and 60 year olds or whatever. He's like he's 72. He'd like call them children. I'll like call people babies, or and sometimes it's not even an insult. Like there's a guy, Frank Shot Pearson, um, points out a lot of the different colored schemes and numbers and stuff that we know these lizard type brains use. Um, their symbology and whatever, and believes in God. Um, called us babies, and I wrote, "Yep, you're my baby too," you know, because I do feel like that about people. If you would actually care for another human being, because I have nursed, you know, um, it was my first profession, so well, besides little jobs as a child, but I'm just talking when I first had a job. That's what I did. Now, I was going to say when I first trained, but that wouldn't have. So I went to culinary school, and let's see, what was it we did? Well, anyway, I had took chef courses and different things at a tech school, but then went like the whole other direction. Then after a while, I went back and actually worked in food service, but I was of courses uh, food service and business management courses is what it was. So you had to learn how to be a restaurateur, a chef, and management. So you had to and bookkeeping. All of it. So yeah, I started that pretty early in my life, and that really helped set me off in not having to work for the government a lot in my life, although I had about, well, over 6 years, different times, but consecutive years. But even as a child, I was a student teacher, and working for the government in a school, and then other times for I worked for the state. So it's just I've never been like a police officer. I was paraprofessional working with handicap and students, and lunch lady and a janitor. So working for the state. So yeah. But I most of my time was spent working for the state as a lunch lady in a high school, which I really enjoyed. I did love my job. I loved the kids. They were so obnoxious but cute, and they were good. They mostly really were good. Good little getting big type of people. So we had this one little shit. He was red curly hair, and he used to just give people, like, some of the ladies, a really bad time. And when I got there, I grabbed his tray as I was filling it up. I reached across. I said, "If you were my kid, I'd beat your ass." And I pushed the tray towards him. I thought, "Oh, there goes the end of my." Next day, he come in and he said, "I'm sorry." I said, "Apology accepted. Extra cookie for you today, dude." You know. After that, he was so polite to everybody. It was like totally amazing. So, yeah, most of them, like I said, were. Oh, and he ended up working after school in the kitchen with the lunch ladies. Some of them that he used to torture. Is that the best you can do? Ooh, look at that shit and all that. It's like one of them. And he straightened up. It was a miracle. you know. I do have a way about me, though. you know. But yeah, I've done things like that so many times, and you think, but and that also was Satan's way of saying, I don't want to see you not work. You just keep working. I'm not going to tell anybody what you said. you know, that's probably just what it was, too. That's my luck. no, I'm fortunate, not lucky, you know. But yeah, that was kind of lucky, I think. God was looking over me and that kid, you know. So, yeah. Wasn't really a threat, though. It was just a statement, and it was a fact. If I found out my 15, 16-year old, I think he was 16, like 6 feet tall, was harassing the lunch ladies, I would beat his ass. Probably with a wooden spoon. Whap, creep. Now go to your room and shut up. Yeah. But anyway, I didn't tell my kids shut up. Usually not. I would say be quiet until I got pissed. If they pushed me, then it would maybe get a little radical, but not often. you know. But yeah, I always tried to teach them manners, and they're charming when they get out in public. Even their dad learned that from me. Doug learned a lot of manners from me. He's more stubborn on not acknowledging it, but yeah, but it is true. you know. And I usually am really polite, more than anybody I've ever met, actually. Rarely I meet somebody that can function in society, a very high functioning human. I was gonna say savant, but that wouldn't be funny. But in a way, I kind of probably am, because I've had the back of my head cracked open, and I've been hitting my head so many times and different things. I've literally, even with my stroke, if that was God's way of saying, like, I think He just took over my brain when it's like my whole face fell and I felt like darkness and I could not even breathe when it happened, and my heart was about ready to pop. It's we got carbon monoxide poisoned because we had the lines under our house redone and they put water fittings on it instead of the LP ones. We could have done a lawsuit, but we would have took a tiny business out completely. But and they had a co-op and a cheese factory, and it was pretty hard decision dealing with all of it. But anyway, so I stroked out, and I couldn't walk. I couldn't talk. Took me almost a year to start talking again. I would limit it, but then on the other hand, and my face had just fallen bad. Um, but I thought it's muscles, it's all muscles, and I worked as a physical therapist aide, and I thought if I just work on my face and because I have always prided myself on my gazillion expressions, especially like there's Laurel and Hardy. It was let me see, Oliver Hardy and Stan Laurel would go just straight across was his smile. Well, I practiced that so hard when I was a kid. Every one of my grandchildren, my kids do it. Not so much my youngest son, but my oldest son and his three daughters all do that just naturally. Now, how could that be? And it took me so long to do that face. And it really did when I was a little kid. And I'd look in the mirror and I'd keep doing it and doing it until I got it just perfectly straight, you know. And so, with those thoughts in mind, I retrained myself, and with speech and everything. So, oh, speaking of exercises, I only have 4 more days, and it's 3 months solid of exercising every day. So, and I am going to give myself a break. My body needs probably a 2 day hiatus, maybe one. I'll see. I'll know. I'll know if, and then I used to do like every other day. And then sometimes I take like a 3 day weekend off of my exercises. But that was some really, like I even outdid any really athletic man I was around with my endurance like that. So I'm not bragging. I'm just really telling you how strong I actually am. And that was my point too about could have and might have been a savant, like God taking over. It's like He took what I knew, a lot of it I had to relearn, and replaced it with something I think that's almost even better. I mean, I was smart before, and it was because of Him, because I was born dyslexic and with a hernia, umbilical cord. I mean, all kinds of things and you wouldn't think. And I even would walk on my hands and do flips. And I mean, the way God can heal us from the inside out is so remarkable. But I just would not even be here at all if it wasn't for Him. So them little things that happen that you feel like you were rescued or saved or something like that, don't brush them off as just like a coincidence, or don't let the little nagging voice get in there and say, nah, that wasn't nothing special, because it really is. If you had known the darkness that I saw, I thought, I wasn't afraid. I thought, I'm gonna go home to my father. And he's like, no, you're not done yet. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm not done yet? So here I am, you know? And that's about 10 years ago now. So, yeah, remarkable. Totally. Yeah, don't ignore those little times you were saved. Those are miracles. They are, because God was talking to me. And it wasn't just because my air supply was cut off or um, my heart was ready to fail. It was nothing to do with either of those two things. It had to do with the Holy Spirit coming deeper into my heart and teaching me a different way of um, helping people, a gentler way, I think, because I'm a little rough around the edges. Um, sort of somewhat pride is a downfall in that area, sort of somewhat not with um, the the strive that in the drive that I have myself, for learning and remaining strong and that type of thing. So yeah, it's not a coincidence at all. So yeah, because I've second guessed it. It's like all the things that's happened in my life, and I'm like, well, it's was like my willpower that helped me walk again, or in different times that I've been in that situation, several actually. Um, you know, but yeah, I don't know that people would do so well without God's help. They could excel. There's people that will submit to Neuralink to help their spine. I pulled my spinal cord an inch and a half. That's flipping a quarter of an inch. Anytime and you release that fluid, that I think I can't remember. I'm not going to stream it. When you stretch your spine that hard, you don't walk again. A quarter of an inch is enough to immobilize you for the rest of your life, your arms and your legs. Not just paraplegic, but possibly quadra because of your spine. And yeah, my strength and determination helped keep me upright and walking again, but it wouldn't have been without begging God. And I know I can feel it's just like when a parent picks the baby up off the floor. If they fall, like they've fallen too many times, that poor little thing is just so tired from trying so hard all day long. And so you finally just go pick it up and, cuddle them and just, or her, and tell them, hey, you need to rest a little bit, buddy, calm down. But that's what God does to us. It's like He picks us up, literally. So when He does that, don't ignore it because it's real. It is real. It's the Spirit, His Spirit working in our souls, in our minds, in the flesh. And He can overpower what Satan tries to do to bring you down and keep you down. So, or people that use that dark force against other ones. He protects you. At least once a day, I have somebody the dark force sends towards me. It's usually men, but not exclusively. And they think they're going to battle me hard, but, it doesn't always work out in their benefit. You know, I had one guy that was just bothering me. I still don't want to unfriend him, and we're even a part of the same another group on Facebook. But he was, like I believe that indigenous people, wherever they live, should run their own country. And if they choose to select people in their cabinets of any race, I don't care. But the initial indigenous people, no matter where they live, should have control over their own country, period. You know, and that's always been my belief, and nothing's going to change. Well, this one guy, and I almost resorted to calling him names this morning, but I didn't. And I just told him, I'm not going to read this, you know. So just, whatever. I said, I'm sure, and it was in Patriots Unite in Doug's group. I said, I'm not going to read this, but I'm sure Doug will, and he's not a stupid man. And I just left, because I was basically calling him a stupid man. Later, he came by and he goes, about one of my memes, that he was going to manually take that meme. And I said, oh, so you have a manual. Get reading, boy. And then I just dropped it. So, because he had sent me scriptures and was basically trying to school me on the Native Americans and telling me about the West. I live in the West. I work in the West, in the Southwest, on ranches and with natives. Here's a funny one. I worked at Hardin Hospital in Hardin, Montana, around Crow Agency, where the Crow Indians live. And they didn't know that I had any Native American or language skills in that area. And I'm in the laundromat. These two women were there, and they also worked in the hospital. And we had big conflicts because some people were just lazy, and it gets really hard when you have a trying to run a medical situation, and you have people that are not doing their job. It's difficult. And and they told me we naguarabesan. I said, fuck you too. They said, fuck you, white bitch, to me, you know. So then, anyway, they knew that I understood what they were saying. And then I told them, I said, you don't have to call me names just because you're lazy, I said to them. And then they were standing in front of my washing machine, and I walked up to them and I'm like, get out of my way. And they did. Well, then they were really mad, and they called a whole bunch of their family members were going to try and get me out in the parking lot after work. And I thought, and I used to, I didn't have any kids or anything. I would take my uniform off, put some jeans on, go to the bar, have a drink, play some pool. I was on a team for tournaments and whatnot. And for this place called the Wagon Wheel, my friend's mom owned it. So I'd have a couple drinks, go home. And I was working like sometimes 18 hours. Like, and many days in a row without any days off or anything. So it was it was fun, sorta. But I had to go in there because the rancher I was working for was going under. It was some pretty hard times, and something else, some kind of tragedy happened in their lives too. I know it was a long time ago. Anyway, the point being is, I just threw my uniform in a bag. I threw it in the back. I had built the '68 Ford Fairlane. The first car I built was really light yellow, just beautiful, kind of light brown interior. And I had put pearl white in it, and I had Krager chromies on it. It was beautiful. But anyway, threw my clothes in the back of my car, closed the car door, looked at the youngest one. I said, I'm going to take you out first, and then I'm going to deal with the rest of you. And they all just kind of stood there. They started kind of coming towards me, and that's when I threw my bag in the car. And I said to the kid, I said, I'm going to take you out first. We were relatively the same age anyway. But there was some big, kind of pretty badass people. But I could see myself getting hurt, but not too bad. Not as bad as what was going to happen, you know. I was tired. I wanted to go have a drink. That's all there was to that. But it never happened again either. And I told those girls in the hospital, I said, you do that to me again. I said, I'm not going to wait till we go outside, you know. Yeah. So the difference between the pride of, and it's nothing to do with like pride, like I'm proud of. I only have tiny smidgens of that type of blood, but the Lakota Sioux and the Powhatan, like Pocahontas, and I'm not dissing on any culture in particular, but the Native Americans around Crow Agency eat their own dogs still, and I'll just leave it there. That's probably enough said. So anyway, like, yeah, me too lazy to go kill buffalo. Me just eat the little boy's puppy. Just, no, I had some crow friends. It's just certain ones. It's the same with anybody. Well, be proud to be heterosexual, and if you're not, whatever you're doing in front of a child, well, I believe God's going to really be talking to your asses. And that's my belief, and I'm sticking to it. I'm not saying He doesn't love you, because that would be a lie. He loves everybody. Just, you're going to have some splaining to do, Lucy. That's from Lucille Ball. Desi Arnaz used to say that to her husband. So, all right, everybody. I'll let you go on that happy heterosexual days forever. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Thank you.